Right, so having done that scrap Harvard 400M over the last few days, thought we'll look after the same trade customer who sent that in with his Binatone 5-star chassis he sent in. Not sending the cases, puts it into a different parcel category, and it's advantageous, obviously, on the cost. So he's got the escutcheon in that, and no doubt if we can get this to work properly. Now, he's another dealer, and just because he's can't get to the bottom of a particular snag, nothing to read into that. Whilst I was doing the Harvard 400M, I was really coming up to a stone wall with why there was no transmitter. It was Mr. Chippy who said, hey, there's a 330 picofarad capacitor should be there, not 0.22 microfarads, or not 0.022. So, you know, sometimes somebody else needs to look at something. So what he's got, his receive fades out after 15 seconds along with transmitted audio. So we've got a common denominator there. And I may well have... It's going to be fun doing it on the air test with this chassis, isn't it? And I have just spotted, I think there's another radio coming from a customer, so I want to get along with this morning. I've got an optician's appointment this afternoon. What do you think they'll do to me? So one of the things about the National Health Service here in the UK is that as far as eyes go, my late mother suffered from glaucoma. And so because of that, I've been entitled to free eye tests every year since the age of 40. So that's what we do. And of course they check the eye pressures to make sure about this glaucoma thing being a hereditary thing, that it's not affecting me. Now, no secret that I have useful vision in one eye only, so that won't take them long, will it, to sort the other one out. So, switch this thing on, and I'll tell you what, we will go into PA, which is what it's currently in. Actually, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What? Nothing happening there. What am I doing wrong? Not putting it in PA. Testing 1 2 1 2. So I just want to talk for 15 seconds on here while we plug the. Well, I don't think we need to plug the test equipment speaker in at this stage. But whilst I'm talking to myself, 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. We still have the same audio. So it's not in the this part of the circuit, is it, where his anomaly is? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. So the actual power amplifier and the microphone preamp can't be a problem. Let's go over to normal receive. Now then, there's some noise. Switch into transmitted audio. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 1 2 1 2 wallow wallow 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 wallow 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. So I haven't got the transmitted audio dropping down, but I'm aware. Where's receive gone? Ah, the squelches appears to have come in and is uncontrollable. So can you hear when we switch on? Got initial and there's the door. Every time I do a video. Okay, so that was 4 boxes of repairs. Yes, so it's being told to mute, isn't it? Let's go back to this. He says transmitted audio faded out. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Absolutely right. Now there's no transmitted audio. Well, that's a fun fault, isn't it? But it's there. Testing 1 2. Switch off, switch back on, going to transmit, testing 1 2. He's done the capacitors, you can tell that, but they've done them there. Does it still work in PA? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. No, we're not in PA, are we? We are now. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay, so we've lost PA. Testing 1 2. Oh wow! If we fix the PA, we've cracked it, haven't we? Well, no wonder he sent it in. I mean, that's a corker. Right, well, I'd better have a look at a circuit diagram. So I'll come back to you. Right, so we will look at the voltage around the amplifier IC. I've changed 3 capacitors as a just in case. The customer's already changed the audio IC, and so we're going to have it in. So we've got no PA, no transmitted audio, and no receive audio. I think there's a built-in kind of mute in the TA7205 chip. Maybe it's being told to mute because of some malfunction. So I'm going to make sure I'm on. Come on for a second when I turn it off and on again. It will, you know. Try that again. This time in normal mode. There we are. We have it for 1 second till it mutes. So pin 1 is towards the middle. I've blown up the circuit diagram, so I've just got the audio IC. Pin 1 should be 13.2 volts, or rail voltage, and there we are. Pin 2 should be 12 volts, and I think it should be 6 in transmit. Well, or perhaps it's in PA when it's 6. Pin 3 should be 3.8 volts. That's a bit high. Pin 4 should be 7.8 volts. It only has a capacitor on it, and so that must surely be coming from the outside, from the inside of the chip. Pin 5 is the other end of that capacitor. It should be 1.5 volts. Pin 6 should be 3 volts. Which it is. Pin 7 should be 3.2 volts. Which is low. Pin 8, 1.2 volts. That looks to be missing. Let's switch it off and on again. Yeah, it comes up for a second. Pin 9. Can't see what that is under its ground. Quite probably. And pin 10 is 6.6. Is 6.6 volts, which is high. Interesting. Very high. Switch it off and on again. Off. So I think what we need to do now is to get some data sheet on the chip so we know what pin does what. And then we can see how things affect it. I'm sure it has a built-in mute. So I'll go and find some Toshiba data. Okay, so I've been to the optician's appointment, and I'm back, and we're back onto this, and I've taken out transistor 14, which is a squelch transistor. It's not on that diagram. So there's the squelch. Basically, it shunts the input to the audio amplifier to DEC. So we've changed the capacitor, which could also shunt the inputs to DEC if it was faulty. So with it turning on and kind of working for 1 second, okay, I've done the capacitors, but I've done this as a kind of may as well do it anyway type of thing. So having taken the transistor out, it's now 10 minutes later. While we've got audio there, I expect we have on PA. Yeah. So I think what's happening, it tests okay, but there you go. So 2SC945. We've got a scrap chassis here, so I may as well pop it out of this. Save me going over to stores, and that's interesting. It's been changed in this. I must say, I've never had this happen. I think I've changed a squelch transistor before, probably once, but this wasn't the symptom. I think it was the opposite, where the squelch wasn't working. Something else I've observed as well, which I'll come to in a moment. So I've got that out. I'm going to test it anyway. It's a JRC 501, I think, which is one of the alternatives. There's 4 types that can be fitted. Okay, that's fine. But then so was the other one. Right, so we'll turn it off. And hopefully pop that in. Okay, well, so far so good. I'm going to go through the tune-up anyway, despite he is obviously able to do this kind of work. So we'll start with the VCO, and by the time I've done that, the radio will either be playing up or not playing up. Meter's still there. Handy strap on there. Picture in picture on. So we're on channel 40. We were on channel 40. We no longer have any power. What's come off? That one. So far side of resistor 4. Which Metron, somebody sent me the details. I'll do that before I go for my tea, which is the 5 o'clockish meal in this country. So it should be 4 volts on receive, should be 4 volts on transmit. Channel 1, somewhere around 1.8, 2.3. Yeah, he's done that, it's super, that's fantastic. Now, I've gone into transmit, haven't I? And the thing I was going to say to you was there's no insulation kit on this transistor, so that will burn out if you key up for long. So what we need to do, there's an insulation kit on this set, which is a scrapper, which I've used before. There's no output on this, and it's got a Duff transmitter transistor. So we may as well pinch it off here, and then you won't have to pay for a new one, will you? Not that scrap has no value, or there won't be scrap yards. So it's got the pad in there, but it hasn't got the screw and. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? Right, so switch back on again. Take it to channel 20, where it's still receiving a check. Actually, I'll turn it back off again. We'll just check for continuity between there and the transistor case. That looks alright. Key up, fine. So I don't know whether he was aware of that or whether he overlooked it, but it wouldn't last long with no insulation kit to dissipate the heat. We'll just run through the transmitter and I'll go for tea. So, what we're doing, it's just slightly over the top, 4.4. Maximum, maximum, maximum. So once again, you've got to be quick with these. Maximum, maximum, maximum. I just want you to check again. So at this point we're at 5.3 watts. It's one of the better examples, I must say. So this now needs to be clockwise for 4.4 watts. And then this one anti-clockwise for the 4 watts. The manual says 3.8 watts, but remember they've got to get the radio through customs, which is why they're always set low. So we'll set that to jolly good 4, and then check on channel 1 and 40 that we're within 0.1. We're not actually. Back to channel 20. Actually tailored off a bit. So that's how it is. 4. Channel 1, 4. Channel 40, 4. So that's nicely balanced. Back to channel 20. So transmit meter. Banging across. Am I doing the wrong one? Is that low power on these sets? It's that one, isn't it? There's 4. So low power is 460 milliwatts, so whatever it was before, I just disturbed it, didn't I? So that's now 400 milliwatts, that's a treat. Check it's on frequency. Yeah, spot on. He'll have gone through it. It's like painting a big suspension bridge, isn't it? You can always find a bit you haven't done. So we need to check deviation. Wow, it's actually spot on, but we'll test it for a second opinion with the test set behind. So I'll go and have my tea and then we'll do that and carry on. Right, I've just done the deviation on this, and just let's pop it down a little bit. So 2.2 to 2.5 is where we were. Now it's about 2.4. Done the VCO, it's 4 volts plus 4 volts, and the frequency is 27,79123. So it's spot on. Meter is now 4. Lamp's working, switch is working, pot's working, sockets are working, PA's working. TX current. 0.46 on low power, that's not what we want, is it? .05, that's good. Right, let's have a look at the receive. So we'll switch the oscilloscope onto the camera. We'll switch the oscilloscope on as well. Tutting the bench light off a second. Put an S9 equivalent signal of 100 microvolts onto the signal generator. adjust the coil there. Get enough volume on for a sensible trace. Absolutely spot on. Squelch is still working. I left this set on while I had my tea. We'll go with the cyanide meter. The one the poltergeist keeps moving. I'll just run through these coils. It's probably... Oh, I've got to knock the signal generators off frequency. What a numpty. Right, try again. So, at the moment, very, very good. Make sure these controls are full. We've got 0.3, 12 dB. And we've got 0.25. And then finally 0.64. So, here goes. Look a bit there. A little bit there too. I don't think he's probably not finished the receive anyway because of the fault. So now we've got 0.23, 0.2, 0.52. Now of course we had to upset the squelch to do what we've done. Squelch to full. I'd like it to open at 100 microvolts. Let's put the attenuator on. So I need it a bit stronger than that. That's it. And now we'll see what it's like at the sensitive end. Sets threshold on the radio. Single generator back on. Parks at 0.3 microvolt. Oh no, that's no good at all. That's dreadful. Let's try again. Naught 0.9. Right, that brings us to the S meter. So with S9 on the signal generator, so minute. There we go. We'll come back to this. I'm going to go out to town and do some shopping. I'm doing this like this on purpose, so we're testing the radio time and time again. Like the PA there. So all it needs is to go on the air when I get back, and then we'll wind this video up and do it on the air test. So we don't have the case, you know, it's come as a chassis and it saves him on the postage. There's no point putting a box on it when it doesn't need it. We'll switch some of this gear off. and be back in an hour. Okay folks, so an hour later and the radio is still receiving. So we'll just, that's it, finished, aren't we? I didn't write down that we'd done the meter, but we have. So we'll just check it in PA, check, yep. Check we've got transmitted audio. Testing 1 2 1 2. We have. Squelch still works. Yep, good, job's a good one. So that wraps that up. We'll get the on the aerial. Turn the test gear off. And it's just coming up to 7 o'clock, so we'll get on with the scratchy corner test with Mr. Chippy. So we can't listen to it on the internal speaker because we haven't got a case, have we? So I'll make sure we're plugged straight into extension speaker right now. And that has worked out a really nice set. Right, we'll have a flick round the channels. One and Roger. Right, there we have it. Binatone 5-star for a trade customer. All hunky dory. Thanks for watching.